Support for Just Seen It comes from Fandor, dedicated to supporting independent films and filmmakers. Movies from around the world are available at fandor.com/PTV. Fandor, all for film. A once successful sports agent is about to close his business.
What's going on here? Don't tell me you signed a contract with these guys.
It's just business.
He decides to hold an international competition to find the next great pitching sensation.
See, once we go over there and find these guys, we bring them back here, we train them in LA, then we get them signed with a professional franchise.
Two teenage winners emerge and must learn to adapt to life in the U.S. in $1 Million Arm.
Hi, I'm Zorianna, and I'm here with Liz and Sean, and we're here to review $1 Million Arm, starring John Hamm. It's based on a true story, and we've all just seen it. Liz, what do you think?
It reminded me a little bit of Jerry Maguire without the real edge that Jerry Maguire had. I just thought it was a fine film. It was fine. The performances were fine. The story was interesting. At the end of the movie, it was inspiring, but I thought it took a lot to get there.
It's a Disney sports movie, and I think if you're going to see a Disney sports movie, you know what you're in for, and you get everything that you want from it. There's some machinations, there's some cliches, you know where it's going. You can sort of see the ending coming a mile away, but I still had a lot of fun. I was entertained by it, even though I did see that those were issues with the movie.
So this is John Hamm's first big feature film. He is carrying this movie, which he's never done before. We've seen him in Bridesmaids, we've seen him on The Town, we've seen him being hysterical on Saturday Night Live. But can he carry a movie? Mad Men is coming to an end, and there is a potential feature film career. Is he a leading man?
I didn't think it was necessarily the best vehicle for him to extend outside of Mad Men. I mean, Mad Men is this juicy role, and he was fine. He's the one that arcs the most. I just think that he's definitely looking for that role to push him outside of television, and this one I don't think is going to catapult him into stardom.
Yeah, I also don't know if this was the best vehicle for him, but I think it's certainly a good vehicle. I'm not sure if he's a movie star, but this is definitely a first step in the right direction, depending on how he chooses to navigate further.
Yeah, my problems with the film weren't with his performance, or actually the performances of any of the leads. I think it's the treatment of India and these Indian characters. It gets a little ridiculous when you go to India and this, the country just transforms John Hamm, and it's almost like Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, where it's like, oh, we're in this fantasy land, and my heart is warmed because of it. And then also the treatment of the Indian characters who don't know how to operate an elevator but can work a car stereo. There's just these inconsistencies in the treatment of culture in the film, which, hindered my enjoyment.
Okay, but the equipment that we sent over, the batting cages, balls, bats, that's all here.
Yes. I'm happy to confirm that they all are here in India.
But you don't have them here?
No, they're at the customs. I think we should be working on that.
I think what there is all over this movie is an Americanization.
Yes.
I mean, we have Indian characters who are really the main characters of the movie, or at least they should be.
Great.
They're who the story is about, and yet we have to see it through the eyes of the American agent, John Hamm, J.B. Bernstein. It's even cast so that we have Indian actors that American audiences might recognize. We have Suraj Sharma from Life of Pi. We have Madhur Mittal from Slumdog Millionaire. They're great. I think they're great actors, but to a certain extent, it's like, okay, you've found the two Indian actors who've been in movies in the last 5 years.
But what I loved about them as actors is that they didn't let the lack of development in the script stop them. In every scene, Rinku always looks to Dinesh, and Dinesh never looks back at Rinku. It's like this tiny little character moment, but every time they appear, you can see that one is a little unsure of himself, one is in his own world, and that tells me all about the characters more than like 18 lines of dialogue would.
Wow. We might have to tweak that a little bit.
So Craig Gillespie directed this movie, and I am fascinated by his career choices because I can't seem to find a through line between his previous work and this movie. He did Lars and the Real Girl, which I loved, cool indie, Ryan Gosling. Then he did Mr. Woodcock with Billy Bob Thornton and Sean William Scott. And then he did Fright Night with Colin Farrell.
Fright Night?
Yeah, I forgot that he did Fright Night. He did Fright Night. So now he's doing this all-American Disney feel-good movie. So
well, now I'm giving this a C, and I was totally not going to, but it's the Fright Night Night guy.
Friday Night Guy?
But see, there's no correlation. Not that I can't find a correlation. And I always like to find a correlation between the director's current work and his past work. And I can't find it here. So maybe you guys can help me.
There are stakes in both movies. In Fright Night, they stake somebody, and then
Fright
here
Night.
there's stakes for them becoming ball players.
I see. Okay. I think he did a great job. I thought he did a great job capturing India. It was beautiful. It's feel good and you're inspired and you learn a lesson and it's two cultures that are just getting along
But all those things could be problems as well.
I don't think they become problems because I think that's what this movie is.
Yeah.
You are going to see a Disney sports movie. These are the things that you want to see. If it becomes something different, you're going to be disappointed by it.
Although it's a little too predictable, it's a feel-good movie that's really inspirational, which is always a good reason to go to the movies. So I say see it.
It's a decent movie, and it'll win you over in the end, but it feels a little too by the numbers without developing its own charm. So I'm going to say stream it.
$1 Million Arm is far from a home run, but its goodwill makes this a solid ground rule double. See it.
Well, it looks like our votes add up to 2.5 tickets, which is a see it for $1 Million Arm. Cheers.
He
Cheers.
shoots, he scores. Wait, that's hockey.
He keeps it subtle. He doesn't ham it up, if you know what I'm saying.
Hamm.